So SMART AF is an acronym?
SMART AF is an acronym, Sean Mathis. Hey, welcome to SMART AF. I'm your host, Torie Mathis. We have got a great show for you today, so let's get started. When I was in the Army, I was good at being in the Army. I get the game. I liked it. It was cool. I really did enjoy it. But one thing that was just not cool was that they did things the slowest, the oldest. There was no work smarter. There was no change things up. It's been this way. It's going to keep happening this way. We're not changing. Right?
Do it the way it's always been done.
It's always been done this way.
Don't ask questions.
Shut your mouth. That was the one thing that I was like, holy shit.
Which then turns into the next military phrase everybody knows, hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait forever. Right. When I came in, so I went into the Army in 1999, right? The internet was there. There's things. I was the first class, for my MOS, for my job in the Army, that we didn't actually have a piece of paper, a piece of what are those film things and paper copies that we took for promotions and stuff. Nothing was done digitally. Your records were updated by some dude carrying the paper, and crazy that they did that for so long. So that whole working smarter did not exist.
I had that 3 years later in the gigantic folders.
That's how they really did it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Your folder just gets larger and larger as you go through all the steps.
So I think that was something when I started working for myself, I'm not going to get stuck in that rut. I want to work smarter. I don't want to do stuff the old way. I don't want to do it because it's always been done that way. Though I can understand with a large corporation or running a damn army that sometimes maybe it is a little bit necessary and harder to change stuff. So that whole smart has always appealed to me. However, SMART AF is not just about working smarter. Though it does seem like it, I did this kick-ass performance. I did this kick-ass presentation a couple of years ago, and it was all about coaches and how they could market themselves online. And I thought, it came from what we were already doing. And so I was like, how can I make this so it's something that people could remember? Because the steps of it, it was totally repeatable. And it didn't just work for coaches, it worked for any business. And it was we were already doing, what we had been doing, what we'd been building on with our own clients and our own business. And once I started trying to organize it, I was like, holy shit, this spells smart. And I was like, this is amazing. And it's an acronym. And I was in the Army, and acronyms are the best. Love it.
So SMART AF is an acronym?
SMART AF is an acronym, Sean Mathis. So, if you get the SMART AF magazine, which you can get at smartafmag.com, it really goes into it. And I kind of explain how it goes on. It's on my website and stuff like that too. But I kind of wanted to talk about it because it's not just a cute name. There's so much more to it. There really is. Let's get into it. S. S is sales. It is, you're not just because I'm not a salesperson. I am not a salesman. Sales is not my forte. I am a marketer. I'm a designer, marketing strategy. That's what I went to school for. That's what I do. That's what I've done for clients. However, there is a disconnect between marketing and sales. And I think in big corporations and things, marketing and sales are two totally different animals, right? And a lot of times they don't even talk to each other, which to me, that's freaking crazy. I've always been in a smaller corporate or a smaller business, and sales and marketing usually go hand in hand. So when I talk about sales, when I talk about sales process, that is making sure that whatever you do for marketing is opening the door to sales. So they always call that, it is called direct response marketing. You don't just market to get, to not have somebody actually respond to it, not to do something. So you always want somebody to do something, and that's the direct response. You want somebody to do the response. And so to me, that's always opening the door for sales. We've done other videos that we talked about this. For example, getting a customer's email so that later you can invite them back, or you can tell them about what's new. You do this with, the museum. We always talk about, like, what's the next step? Somebody comes in here one time. How do we get them to come again? How do we get them, like, what do we want them to do next? And this doesn't just happen. Like, when you go to Walmart and someone's like, hi, welcome to Walmart. Like, they didn't just decide to do that. Like, somebody told them to do that. That is their sales process. I love the clothing stores that I go into, and it's like clockwork. Somebody will come. Can I help you find anything? Nope, I'm just looking. They say, okay. But once you get something over your arm, then they want to get you a room. Why? Because if you try on the clothes and you get more things, you're more likely to buy. Then they want to help you pick things out. Like, this is the sales process that they have.
You want fries with that.
Do you want fries with that? Right. This is the sales process. And this has to be thought of ahead of time so that you can put this stuff into play. And a lot of this stuff can be systemized, and all of your employees need to know about it. Do you want fries with that? Every single employee knows, like, they have to ask that because that is part of the sales process.
So going, back on that last one of those last videos with the dog getting the nails cut, right?
Yeah.
Sales process. Collect the email. Like, if you did nothing else, collect the email.
So, thinking about sales process, you say, okay, the first time I see a customer, what do they need to do? What do they need to know? Then what? How do I get them to the sale? After they buy from me, what do we do then? How do we follow up? And all of these different things are really important for you to think about. Some people just I'm going to go out there and sell my stuff, buy my stuff. Like, that's not how business works. Like, it is a process. There's a customer journey. A lot of times people don't buy from you the first time they see you. It takes time to build that relationship. There are so many touches that they usually need for them to buy, especially if you're selling something higher priced. We talked about the landscape people, like putting their name on the truck, putting the little signs out, handing out a flyer, asking for referrals. Like, all of these things can be mapped out in a sales process, so it works with your marketing. So that you get that twofer. You go out to somebody's house, you have your branding on there, you ask for the referral, you schedule the next call to come out. Like, all these things are part of the sales process, and it has to be thought about. And then you have to make sure that your employees know about it.
Which creates consistency.
Yes. And it creates a process.
All your employees should be doing the exact same thing.
And so this sales processing is definitely with your employees. It's definitely when somebody walks into your store. What happens? But it's also what happens when someone goes to your website. What do you want them to know? Like, you have to talk to them in a certain way. You have to get them into your sales process. And with your website, you have to do it quickly. When someone comes to your social media, what do you want them to do? What do you want them to know? Like, there needs to be this process that happens, and you need to think about that ahead of time. So that is what S is. Like, it's a big part of it, and you have to have this nailed down because so many people go straight to T and wonder why they're not getting sales. We'll get to T later. The next one is M, and M is your message. Message is your branding. It is your call to action. It is getting people to the next step. It is what you post on social media. It is your signage. And all of these things work together to build this know, like, and trust. Because once a customer knows you, likes you, and trusts you, they will buy from you again and again and again. But like the groomer, if I don't know the name of your business, I can't come back.
No.
And I liked you, but I don't know you. Like, these things have to be thought of ahead of time. And so knowing...
Do you even know what the groomer's other services were?
I don't know. They had really cute big dogs there. Like, apparently you can drop your animals off there because there were these amazing golden retrievers that, like, kept popping their head up and, like, seeing us and stuff. So you can drop your dogs off there, but no, I have no idea.
No message.
Like, the messaging really wasn't great. And the big thing about messaging is being consistent with your message. You need to be the same person on your website and on social media so that you can really develop that know, like, and trust. You also have to ask for the sale. You have to tell people what you want them to do. Enter your email here. Make this purchase. Do you want fries with that? There's so many things that if you don't tell the customer what to do, what you want them to do, like, they'll just walk out. Like, a lot of times, like, it really does happen, especially on your website. So all of that goes into your message. And like there's so much more, but that at least kind of gives you an idea of M, which is message.
So sales, process, message.
What's and A? Then A is authority. And authority is one of my favorite things because it's creating stuff. And I'm a creator. I like making shit. So authority goes into how professional you are. That is something like if, you can't, like we talked about, you can't show up in a dirty uniform. No one's going to trust you if you look like crap. No one's going to trust you if you don't have a website that is actually working. So the what things look like is part of it, but it's so much more. It's how you present yourself online, how you present yourself on social media. It's your blog posts can show your authority, case studies, testimonials, videos just like this, or podcasts, audios. All of these things help build your authority. Presentations that you've done. So you can take any business and you can say, like, where do we inject authority? Because that authority is what's going to get people, just like your messaging, to know, like, and trust you and actually feel comfortable working with you. And this is super important, especially if you're doing any type of service business where you're working directly with somebody. Like, you may not need it if you're buying a donut. Or if you're, you know what I mean? Like, that's not really necessary. But if you're buying something like that's not a commodity type item, you're probably going to have to build this type of authority.
Unless that's like the place to go get donuts.
Well, I mean, donuts can have. It was probably like not the greatest example, but yes, a donut shop could make it. Could have authority too.
Awards you could get creative and like literally every.
No, like not literally, like literally every single business needs to say, like, where can we put forth authority? Donut shop. What awards have you won? What you could show your testimonials and reviews that you've had.
Some's got to make them unique.
Yeah.
Bacon on it or whatever the case may be.
Maybe you can showcase videos of events that you've done or different types of donuts that you have or how pretty whatever it is, whatever your company is, you have this authority that you need to let people know that you know what you're doing. And a lot of times that you're like the best. Like, why would they choose you? That's where authority comes in. You have to let them know, like, this is what distinguishes me from these other guys, and that's why you shouldn't choose them, and you should choose me. Because everybody, all of these people that are out there are shopping, they're looking, they're researching. They might be price shoppers, or they might just be trying to find the best person for the job. So whether they're going to a doctor or a dentist, or they're going to get their hair done, or they want to drop their dog off so that you wash, so that they can get their nails cut, like, they don't want to take them to somebody that they can't trust.
Well, I think that's key, is you're not the only business. You've got competition. Whether you know it or not, there's somebody else that does exactly what you do. So who has the better authority? That's how I'm going to choose. I'm going to go like, this dude here looks more legit, looks like they know what they're talking about. Oh, and look at all these fantastic reviews. And they want me to put my email in. They're going to give me 10% off. Oh, this is what their packages are? Yeah, you don't have that. You're not getting my business.
Like, you can't just be like, here's my thing, buy it. Like, That sounds good, but that's not how it works.
Not in today's world.
No, it doesn't. Like, if you do, like, maybe you're lucky, but luck runs out. Like, I don't want to have my business success beyond luck. I want to know that, like, I have covered my bases and I am set up for success. So A is authority. The next one is R. So we're doing SMART, right? So R is relationships. And like everything really comes back to this know, like, and trust. So when you're building a relationship, and I think that this again goes with any business, you have to build that relationship with your client. That means that maybe, like I said, they're shopping, they're doing their research. So how can you get their attention and then keep developing that relationship with them, even if they're not ready to make a decision right now? A lot of relationship these days is on social media, but it's really easy to get drowned out on social media. So the best place for relationship building is through email. We talked about this with the dog groomer. Right now, I could know her name and love her and have referred her to like 5 different people because she's emailed me, once a week or once every other week and told me about all this cool stuff that she does and that she won this award. And hey, look, Bruno, the super cute golden retriever came in and look at his, like, these things build that relationship and make me like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to come in there and do business with her and give her all my money because I love my dogs.
So that first capture the email, that very first email she sent could have been review us here and follow us here.
But instead, if you saw our other video, like I don't even know the name of the dog groomer.
Brutal.
So this relationship building is super important. And there's some brands that just, they do it so well. Like some do it shitty. Like, I always talk about like the trampoline company. I always think about this. So we went to the Atlanta car show. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And so the kids, there was the springless trampoline people were there. And the kids were like, I want to jump on the trampoline. Like, we've been looking at cars all day. I just want to jump on the trampoline. So they were super smart. And not the kids, the trampoline place, they were like, you have to fill out this waiver and give us your phone number and give us your email. And then they, obviously they're going to email me stuff. And so I filled out all the stuff, right? So they had all that stuff. And then the kids could jump on the trampoline. So they jumped on the trampoline. And then I waited. And I was really curious, like, they didn't email me. And then a week went by. And they didn't email me. And then like 2 weeks went by. They never emailed me. I don't know what the damn company's name was.
I do know where it was located. Shit's gone.
Oh, there was one over there, huh? So the shopping center that we go, there was a springless trampoline place, and they're not there. Maybe if they would have got emails, they would have been like, bored during COVID because your kids can't leave the house? Get a damn trampoline. This is the greatest time ever to get one.
Mm-hmm.
They could have emailed me.
There's that perception, too. There's, those weren't cheap trampolines.
No.
Where one of those emails could have been like, because you gave us the email and you went to that Atlanta car show, here's, $100 off.
Well, and they could have told me, like, how dangerous other trampolines are, but they were very safe. And they could have gave me videos of all these, things about the trampoline. Like,
showcase their authority to you.
Built that relationship with me so that I liked them. Like, even if I didn't want to buy one, if somebody was talking about that, I could be like, oh my gosh, you need a trampoline. I know this company. They're super great.
Exactly.
But they didn't. They didn't do anything. But let's talk about, like, companies that do that well. Can you think of somebody that... No. Sean Mathis. Thanks for giving us that great example.
Miles Through Time does it.
You do. You do a really great job of that. Sean mails his list. He mails them a lot. Very nice. Shares pictures. Just talks about. It's likable. Like, tells the story of like what's going on and what's new. And
milesthroughtime.com. Like, you're going to see a pop up and multiple opportunities to give me your email. And then you go and you're going to get a few emails that everybody gets. And then you're going to get emails that I send, at least bi-weekly. Just letting you know what's going on. Because of the style that the museum is, I think it's important for everybody to have kind of a stake and ownership in it.
Okay, so this is a really good example because you didn't realize that you should have a sequence to start off. So there's like an onboarding sequence that you can do, and all this can be automated. It's not like something that you send out to everybody every time. So I kind of gave you like an outline kind of to go like, hey, this is what I'm about, and this is where I came from, and this is why I opened it. That way, right away, people know who Sean Mathis is, so that when they get an email, 2 weeks later, they're not like, who the hell is this? Spam. No, you took the time to build that relationship so that people know who Sean Mathis is. And so when they get the Sean Mathis, they don't, email later, they don't forget who you are. You've built that relationship so they don't spam. They're looking forward to your email now. Once you did that, did your spam complaints go down?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I still get them every once in a while, which absolutely drives me nuts because they're the ones that put their email in there. But it's not very many.
So you got to build that relationship. I was thinking of this company. So when I was, we were walking, we built this trail in our backyard so that we could walk. And I was trying to get our son to do the rucksack stuff. Yeah. So if you go to Go Ruck, I think is the name of the company. It's goruck.com. Like, I got one of their emails today. Like, I'm not even rucking right now. We're just walking and, going to the gym. I never bought anything, but I still love their email. What?
You're not rucking?
I'm not rucking right now. Like, I was putting like crap in my backpack so that I could walk and have weight behind me. But they do a whole bunch of stuff. Their onboarding sequence, like if you want an example of somebody that does a great onboarding sequence, other than Sean at Miles Through Time, go sign up for Go Ruck. It's really, really great. they introduce you to the company, they talk about their products, but it's not like, buy my shit. It's just they're building the relationship. They're telling a story. You really like them. And they have a dog that is like the CEO or the CFO or whatever he is. And he's at the end of every single email. And it's so cute. And they just do a really good job. Like, I like them and I've never even bought anything from them. But like, I want to. And if I want to rock, like, that's where I'll go. I probably wouldn't go anywhere else for that kind of stuff. Or if I wanted to refer them to somebody else, like, I would totally do that because I like them. They've spent the time to build a relationship. Again, it takes a little bit of intention and forethought. Like, when you did the email sequence, like, how long did that really take you to do?
No,
less than a day. And so they were scheduled out. So like every single person that comes and signs up at Miles Through Time, they get like 4 emails.
No, there's
we did more than that.
Yeah,
because we introduced, so Sean works with, has a partner, Truett, that he does stuff with. And so we even introduced Truett. Sean's been on the news, and so he was on Good Day Atlanta. So we made sure that we had that video, right? We're like, well, let's show him that because that builds authority, right? And shows like, hey, we know what we're doing.
There's a separate email for every aspect of the museum. So storage, donations, and founding members, and Truett, and the mill that the whole place is in. And each one of those is a separate email.
So that people kind of know exactly what they're getting. So then once they kind of have a vested interest once they've done that. And people are like, well, I don't want to email because then they'll unsubscribe. Well, why would you want somebody that's going to unsubscribe anyway? Like, don't be afraid to email these people. Like, you have to build the relationship with them because then people care about you and your business and then they want to do business with you. And that's what it's about, building these relationships. And they're long-term relationships if you're lucky. Like, if you do it right, they will be.
Search your competition. If they have anything, sign up for it. See what they're doing. Any other business that you're into, sign up. See what they're doing. It'll make you way more comfortable to see what they're doing. Whether it's exactly like what you do or not, it gives you an idea of what they're doing.
And then you see, like, once you know this, you're like, oh, shit, they did do this. Like, this company did it and this company did it. And then some of them make you feel uncomfortable and you're like, ew, that was kind of gross. Like, that made me feel icky because they're like, buy my stuff. Like, it's too much, too quick.
It's like immediately you get the email. That's good.
Yeah.
But then I get one the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day. I got 10 emails in 7 days. Like, that's too many.
I think if they're telling a story and like, hey, I'm going to email you again next week, tomorrow and tell you this. And I think that's okay. But it's just like, this is for sale and 20% off. Like, we bought Halloween costumes for the kids. And so I was like, do you have a coupon? Do you have a coupon? Only online? Damn it. And so didn't use the coupon at the Halloween store. But like 6 hours later, they mailed me a dang coupon. They send me 2 emails a day. And I know that it's like Halloween, and so it's like, get them while they're hot, but it's like, it's too much. I don't like you. You make me feel a little yucky. And unsubscribe. Like, and unsubscribes are going to happen, so that's just part of it. So if you sign up for other people and kind of, like Sean said, other companies, and kind of see what they do. See how you're indoctrinated. See how they welcome you into their company, because there are some companies that do a really, really great job of it. So it are. Next one is T. And this is the one that everybody does. People are like, hey, Torie, do this fancy Facebook campaign and send all this traffic so I can sell all my stuff. And so I'm like, well, what about your sales process? And what about your messaging? And they're like, no, just send traffic. Like,
do you have any authority?
You guys, like, traffic is awesome, but you have to have like some processes and some things set up in order for your money not to just be like, when people are like,
Facebook will take it.
Facebook ads don't work. They do. You just don't have your shit set up yet. Like, once you think about these things and get all these ducks in a row, and it takes a little bit of time, and it's not like you have to do it all right this second. It definitely takes a little bit of time to get this part and this part and this part. But you keep working at it, and you work at it little by little. You end up having this amazing machine that makes you money. Like, your business will start to kind of run itself, which is really awesome. Like, then you can start to put traffic in, and then they go through all these different things, and then they buy from you, and then they refer you, and then they give you reviews, and then they take all their friends there, and it's this process that keeps on going. So T is traffic, and traffic might be phone calls, It might be visitors to your website. It might be, using Facebook ads or Google ads. It might be people walking into your store. And so there's ways to drive traffic, but we want to make sure we have all these other things set up first. Like when they walk into your store, what happens? What does everybody say? Then what? Then what? When they leave, how do you make sure you can contact? Like, remember all this other stuff that we talked about? Like, you have to have all that stuff, and then you get the traffic. Anything to add, Sean Mathis, for traffic?
Totally makes sense.
Like, traffic is the one that everybody wants to go to. Like, it's the fancy one. It's the, I look like I'm really doing business, but you got to have all the stuff first. Like, before you start spending money and money and money and money on traffic. And then saying, Facebook ads don't work. They do. But you got to work on this. So then we have so it was smart. And I did smart marketing for quite a while and talked about it and did all these things. But there's always a little bit more. And I wasn't really sure how to explain it. And so I love the idea of being smart AF, because that's even better than being smart, right? It's being 11. Why? You don't want to just be 10. Why?
11's more than 10.
Because 11 is more than 10. So smart AF. So the A is for automation, because all of this stuff, you don't have to literally do all of these things. So many of this can be automated, and automated in a way that is easy for you, easy for your customer, doesn't make them feel icky, doesn't take out the personality or the personal part of your business, but just makes it a little bit easier. Like sending emails, literally don't send email one by one. You automate these things so that they come out at the right time. Automating emails, we talk about the dog groomer. She could have put it in her little system and said, okay, Torie went on Wednesday, so let's see, 2 months, her dog is probably going to need her nails trimmed again. So send an email to Torie in 2 months and give her, $5 off for coming in or whatever, to remind her. And so that can all be set up ahead of time. A lot of the Facebook stuff could be automated. We talked about the invoices.
Scheduling.
Invoices was huge. Scheduling too. Invoicing was huge for my business. Once I stopped invoicing by hand, and once I got reoccurring invoices, and I was able to set them up and them automatically go out, and I was able to have clients do credit card payments, and it was automated for them too, business game changer. It changed the face of my business and freed up my time and let me have all this extra time to do other stuff that was really important. And it just made me look even better to clients. It made things easier for them to give me money. Automated. So A is for automation. And we have F, and F is for frequency. Talk about this all the time, and I usually call it consistency, but smart AC doesn't make sense. So it has to be F, and that is frequency. You can't do one of these things one time and expect it all to work. You have to be consistent. You have to do these things every time. The Walmart greeter, they don't say hey to every 100th person. They say hey to every single person.
That's true.
They don't say, hey, do you want fries with that? Every once in a while. It is every single time. You get the email every single time from all of your customers. And some of them will say no, but who cares? You still ask for the email so that you can build the relationship with them.
Ask for the referral. Ask for the review.
Ask for the review. Every time. You set up this consistent process. You don't use your logo sometimes and use this other logo sometimes. You do it every time. So you set up these things that you do consistently, frequently, and then it's a snowball. It's not going to happen the first time. Sometimes it's not going to happen. You get the snowball going, and that's when really, really big things start happening. It doesn't have to be everything at once, but it does have to be a little bit all the time. And so that's Smart AF. And it is a proven way that you can, I say double your business. Sean says 10x, whichever one you want. Who doesn't want to double their business?
Let's
even
11x it.
Because 11 is more than 10. So even if you just want to double your business, start to get these things into your business, and it would make the biggest difference. And it makes business a little more predictable. It makes it a little bit funner because it makes things easier. These things make it easier for your customers. You end up getting better customers. You get customers for longer. All of these things are a benefit. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of intention, a little bit of planning and forethought, but it's not hard. And it definitely is working smarter, like a shit ton smarter. Smart AF.
Why not?
Especially you guys, why not? If you want to get smart tools to build your business, go to besmartaf.com.